Whoa, hello everybody, and welcome to Super Bowl Sunday painting time. And let's take a look at what we're painting today, which is going to be the board game In Too Deep. And this is a really cool game because there's a lot of really cool big miniatures that it comes with. And let me show you right now. So, let's see. These are the miniatures that we're going to be painting. First, there's this lady. So in the game, you're basically controlling like these cyberpunk criminals. So we're going to be painting cyberpunk criminals. Oh, Red Hood's here. Hey, how's it going? I'm glad you're hanging out because I need to crank these out. We got 10 figures to go through. Let's see if we can crank it out in time. So here's this chick. She is called the Scourge. The Scourge. So we're going to try to paint her up really quick. She should be easy, just black and purple. That's the beauty about these. They're pretty big, so they should be pretty easy to paint. This one I started putting some flesh on it already, so the flesh is pretty much done. I just need to paint some colors on her, and she's cool. She is the Sprinter. Then there's the Ghost. So this one might, it's going to be black, so it should be pretty easy to do. Hey, Ted's here too. Hey, Ted. Yep, so this one, a lot of these are just straight up black with a little spruce of colors, so I'm pretty confident we can crank through all of these in a couple hours or so. There's the Disruptor. Look at that guy. So we'll see. I think the trick on him is going to be all these little red dots. Do we want to paint these little red dots or not? I don't know. We're going to find out. Here's the mechanic. Yep, so this one should be just two colors, a yellow and a green. Looks like a greenish, maybe a camo. I'll use camo for that. Then we got the drone jack. It's just some kind of, I don't know what, mechanical dude. So the tricky part will be getting that red eye. Everything else should be pretty. You see all of these are just kind of two-tone colors, which is great. Ted is just sitting drinking. That's awesome. This guy's going to be painting our ass because he's white. And I hate when clothes are white. They're really hard to get a good look that it doesn't just look like a glop of white. So we'll save him for last because I think he's going to be the biggest pain in the ass. And then the Smuggler. Yeah, this guy's cool. And he's got like a giant gun. He's got a giant backpack full of goodies. And again, I think he's just like a two-tone leather. Like there's a leather and a lighter leather and a darker leather, basically. So, and his little mouthpiece and eye patch are black. So it should be pretty easy there. And then we have the Jumper. Again, she should be easy except for that stupid Mohawk is white. And I hate painting white, but we'll get there. She's already sort of white. So it's probably not going to be so bad. We'll see how it goes. And then there's the Persuader. I love this guy because he's got like a electro whip. So I might have to make this electro whip a little bit even brighter just to make it kind of a glowy kind of effect. But he's, again, just two kind of colors, maybe three colors. The beauty is, since I went and primed these all already, it's just about throwing color on them. So yeah, let's put some color on that. All right, well, I started doing the Sprinter, so let's take a look at the Sprinter. I pretty much got her flesh done, so I just need to get her. Now, this is where it's hard to tell on his art. Like, is it black hair? Is it purple hair? Are the gloves black or are they purple? And also it's kind of important to remember the colors of these people. They come with colored bases, so you can figure out from the bases, but somewhere their color should be incorporated into their figure. So in this case, she's green, so she's got green straps or something like that we got to look out for. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to give her green camo, green leggings. Basically, her feet are metal, so we're just going to make them black and then dry brush them silver. Her shirt is white, so I'm probably just going to leave it and just make her little backpack a grayish, maybe a purple. I think I like the idea of making her hair purple. So let's get our dark purple out. We'll use the old Shyish purple contrast paint. This is really dark. I mean, it's literally almost black, and she's kind of got black hair, so that's why I figured it will probably work. Let's see how it goes. Put that over there. Open this up. Give it a shot. Yeah, I'm digging it because it's not like totally black. The thing is, when you do the black contrast paint, it can get really black. And so unless you're going to highlight the contrast paint or something after the fact, it's really overkill to do all black contrast paint for hair because it's you just don't get any highlights really. But I think I dig her purple. Dig her hair to be purple. Yep, I'm so glad that you guys are here instead of watching the Super Bowl, because who wants to watch the Super Bowl, really? Not that there's anything wrong with that. Dude, I'm so blind. I'm gonna have to put on my giant nerd glasses. We have these things. That helps you just make sure that, because I think when I do hair, I always want to make sure I don't cover the ears, because so you got to go back and paint over. It's a pain in the ass. Like I just did. Okay. Yeah. Paint your ears. What I didn't want to do. That's cool. All right, now her gloves also have this kind of blackish, but I think it'd be cooler if they were purple because, if it's just black, it's kind of, it'll look cool if it's like a robot or something. Obviously, robots don't wear purple gloves, but these are villains, by the way, so or I guess criminals would be the term. So it's not like she's going shopping or anything. She's going to steal stuff. And that's the cool part about this game is you get to jack into their heads and help them steal stuff. And then if you steal too much, you start to get the taste for it. And then you go in too deep. You start to side with the criminals. You want to be a criminal because you like it so much. Son of a bitch. All right, we got some mess up there, so we're going to go back to our flesh really quick. Yeah, if I want something really light purple Red Hood, my standard purple is this Magos purple. Magos purple is really nice and bright. and it's really purple. All right, let me go back to my Kieslev Flesh. This is basically my go-to flesh color if you put it on top of pretty much any. I do like Gulamon Flesh as a contrast, and then I'll do the Kieslev Flesh as a layer on top, and it really makes it pop. It makes it look smooth like skin. Just cleaning up my mistake. All right. Now, let's bring out our green. As green goes, there's obviously the Orc, which is your super bright green. Your Dark Angels green is super dark green, and somewhere in the middle is the Creed Camo. Creed Camo is your kind of. The idea is, I think it's supposed to look like camouflage pants or something like that, right? So I think that's what we're gonna try to do here. Kind of make her. Oh crap! I used the wrong brush. Sorry, people. Here's a good brush for us to use. All right. Yeah, so you can kind of see it's like a muted green, but it's not too dark. It really kind of is a perfect in between. And again, in the reference photo, it's hard to tell. It looks like her pants might be green. I don't know. So I'm just guessing because her player color basically is green, and I want something to be able to tell on the table that this is the green chick. Yeah, it gets a little bit too much. Other than that, all these legs are basically going to be just be silver. So you know what I might do is I might make her backpack green too, just to give it that green theme. Typically, or in the reference photo, it just looks like it's black, but I'm going to put this green on it. Piece of cake. Sorry, this lighting might not be the best. I really got to figure out a good light situation. All right, so now I'm just going to make her little straps green too. And again, it's so weird. I hate when the reference photo is not exactly like what the model looks like. There's some little green here. But again, I want to keep like a green tone to her because, again, she's the greenish character, so definitely want her to at least look green from afar on the table. Again, it doesn't really matter because because they come with these really big bases that have the colors pretty much spelled out, so it's not a huge issue. I just think it will look cool, or cooler than what they gave us to work with. All right, cool and cool. Looks like I got some stray hair or something on here. Maybe a piece of plastic, I don't know. No, that's just on there. All right, cool. We got a little green backpack with green straps. She's got green pants. Let's just give her a little leather belt. And then we're going to make her legs gray and then dry brush them silver, and she'll be done. Piece of cake. So for my pop quiz, if you want to do really cool leather pouches and things, what's your go-to contrast paint? That's right, it's good old Grunt Fur. This stuff is, I mean, you should have, if there's any, like if you can only have 3 contrast paints in your whole collection, Grunt Fur, it's really dark, so you got to be careful with it, but it looks like wood, it looks like fur, it looks like little leather pouches, it looks like leather boots. Pretty much everything you ever needed. Yeah, I don't know where they come up with the names. I guess they're Citadel paints, so they're for Warhammer specifically. So I don't play Warhammer, so I don't know. I don't know if those names are specific Warhammer things or if they just made them up. It'd be hilarious if they just made them up. All right. I think that's cool. And the cool part is, color-wise, green goes with brown. So, again, it makes sense why she would have brown belt on green pants. You know what? Normally, I would give her like more white on the white T-shirt, but I don't think I'm even going to mess with it. The prime is just straight up white. Nah, I might do it. But anyway, let's do her legs gray. Here's your other go-to paint you should have lots of is the good old Basilicanum Gray. I used to not like Basilicanum Gray when I first started using it because it's really light. I mean, you'll see when I put this on, but it mutes the highlights, but it really keeps a lot of the highlights intact. If I just did black on this, I used to do just the black Templar, which is my go-to black, and then dry brush on top of that. And it just looks very harsh metal, but when you do it gray, you still get these highlights underneath what you primed. And it's really cool. And then when you put the silver on it, you still have the midtones. The highlights actually become the midtone, and the silver becomes the highlight. So you don't have to use as much silver, but it still looks like the whole thing is silver. It's a neat. It's especially effective with like chainmail and that kind of stuff because it really looks like chainmail. It's really crazy. All right, so the thing is, you don't want to dry brush on wet paint, so pretty much we're done with her. We just got to do a dry brush silver on her, so we're going to put her to the side and let her dry off, and we'll be on to the next one. All right, let's try this guy because he looks pretty cool. He kind of looks like Ron Perlman, almost. All right. It's this guy who is looks like a brown kind of overcoat with a yellow vest. and dark brown gloves. Right, so some kind of and his hat's brown too. All right, my standard kind of duster jacket color is also, it's also my, I call it my Bosque color. It's basically good old Agarostones. I think, Red Hood, I also recommended you do the turtle chests with this. It's definitely a great, like, kind of mid, not too dark, but it's still got that leathery feel to it, you know, so it really ends up feeling like a duster jacket. And I think this is what I use for Hellboy's duster too. All right, so he's got this coat. Now, if this ends up being too light, I can just kind of put Grunt Fur on top of this, because Grunt Fur really is your leather. That's your go-to, like, leather, dark leather coat. This I don't want to get too crazy. Because these things can get really dark, especially with the priming method we use. It already starts pretty dark, so you want to be careful that you don't use too many dark colors. All right, yeah, I think this is going to be pretty easy to get this done today. 10 figures, no problem. Because all of them only have like 2 colors each. There's not a lot of little pieces. Like I was doing the Crisis Protocol and like Captain America, you got to do red, white, and blue, and red, white, and blue on the shield, and all this stuff. It's just a pain in the ass. That's why I also like to do monster figures a lot, because most monster figures are only 1 or 2 colors, and it's mostly texture, and that's why this priming method really makes cool looking textures on the models. That's why a lot of people, when I get haters on the channel saying, oh, that doesn't look good or whatever, it's a particular style for sure, because typically you should be doing base colors and then shading them and then highlighting them. But for me, I think a lot of these models just are very flat, and that's why it's really cool when you prime this way. You can get a really nice kind of a texture. You can really see it like in the coat, you know, like this would normally just be plain, but since we did that kind of dry brushing all around, it gives this really neat texture. All right, it does look like he's wearing gloves. So his oh, you know what? It looks like he's got blue jeans on. So that's interesting. So first things first, his plate color is yellow, and he does have some kind of a yellow vest. So I use good old iodine yellow for yellow stuff. I'm just going to make his vest yellow. Now, if you put this stuff on too thick, then you start getting these like red overtones. Oops. But yeah. So you don't want if you don't want the red, you can just kind of sop it up. What you do is you dry off your brush, and then when you put it on here, it acts like a sponge and it sucks up the extra paint. If you don't want too much paint there. All right. So now we're going to go the darker brown. Oh yeah, you want to know how to do Levi's? Here's my color for Levi jeans. If find it. Yeah. Let's see. What are these? Yeah, Charger Gray. It's, believe it or not, it's a gray. What's it called? Where's my it's called Space Wolves Gray. And you know what? I might be out of it. Isn't it awful when you're looking for paint and you can't find it? Well, that's cool. We got the next best thing, which is called Griff Charger Gray. Griff Charger Gray. Space Wolves Gray is a little bit more blue, but this Griff Charger Gray is kind of cool because this is more like a gray and then has a little blue tone to it. Whereas the Space Wolves Gray is like more blue. So this is more on the gray scale. The others are more on the blue scale. You can see just like that. Got some bluish jeans. This might even be too light, so I'll just put on a little bit thicker. Let it pool a little bit more. All right. Next step, now we go to our Grunt Fur for all the leathery bits. He's got leather gloves. He's got a leather belt. He's got leather boots. Furred up. That's if I can miss a spot on his hat with the dunes. So let me just go back to dunes really quick. All right. Ultramarine blue. That's interesting. Yeah, Space Wolves Gray is definitely the best jeans color, and I must be out, so I need to get some more. All right, so here we go. Fur, Grunt Fur. All right, we gotta step it up. All right, so it definitely looks like his arms are this kind of leather. So I'm gonna make his arms this. And also his gloves, but I'll make his gloves more black. Ooh. All right. These models are so nice too because they're big, so they're easier to work with. They're well segmented. Like you could totally tell that, hey, these arms are one color, the coat is another color, but the arms and the coat are definitely separated. I'm going to put this in the inside. All right. Then one more thing is his shoes and the brim of his hat. They don't even show his shoes, but I just assume that he's probably got cowboy brown boots. All right, brown belt. else here? And one this way. Yeah, the tricky part with the Grunt Fur, though, it is a thicker paint, so you just want to make sure you don't glob it on too much, otherwise it'll cover up your beautiful priming job that you did. All right, finally, I think I'm gonna just do a little bit on the brim. I don't know what you call that thing on the inside of the hat. Is that a brim? No, the brim is the edge, right? I don't know. I don't know anything about hats. All right. Let me go back to the Agarose Dunes really quick and put some more on there to help blend it. Oops, sorry guys. All right. Two more things. Number one, he's got a beard, it looks like. So that's going to be a pain in my ass, painting a black beard. And he's got this little blue thing. Let's do the blue lightning first, because that should be pretty easy. That should just be... And for that, I'm going to use this Athermatic Blue. Athermatic Blue is really like a super light turquoise, but it really looks cool. It looks good because it's super light colored, so it's a go-to for if you have these like energy effects or those types of things. You just paint it right on, and the highlights are super highlight. And the darks are not too dark. All right. He's a bad mother. Shut your mouth. All right. Let me just do his... There is a color called Morghast Bone, which is Skeleton Horde. Skeleton Horde. I wish I could show you the name, but it's totally ripped off. Skeleton Horde is like a scooch lighter colored than the Agarose Dunes, so it's good for bone, like bone, skeleton bones, and that kind of thing. He's just got this little kind of. I don't want his little scarf to be totally white, so I'll give it more of that yellow feel. All right, cool. I think we're just got to put some hair on this bad boy, and he is done. 10 minutes. I can feel it. This is my one trouble when I do these speed paints, is that I'll bring all the paint bottles out, and then I can't ever find what I'm looking for. All right, so really need to get a more detailed brush. Good thing I got some new ones. And one that's going to give me a good snap back. All right. This is tricky. Always doing these beers is tricky because the best way to do it is to use your good old Black Templar. Black Templar is a black contrast paint. So it's not like painting black straight on the thing. Because when you paint black straight on a figure, it's going to overwhelm it. It's going to be black. So you really want to Oh, sorry, I dropped my glasses. So you definitely want to have a thinner black so you can kind of still see what's underneath. Yeah, and this is where it gets, you just want to be super careful where you put the black. So we got black here. You guys can see that. But black will get on everything. So like if you mess up, you're screwed, you gotta go back and repaint everything. It's a pain in the ass. And since this is a contrast paint, it will definitely pool up and move. I don't want that to happen either. So. All right. We got the beard. But he's also got a mustache. So this is where it gets so crazy. All right. Those times when I don't talk, it's because I'm breathing really light and not get shit all over his face. All right. I think we got him a little bit. Now we're just going to put some flesh on his face to clean up where I messed up the black and lighten up his face a little bit. So what do we use for flesh? We use good old Kieslev Flesh. All right. It does look like he's got some kind of a battle scar or something on his face too. All right. I don't know about you guys, but that's good enough for me. All right. Just getting it to the table. The aggro stoons, it's so light that it always sometimes it'll pool away and then it won't. It'll leave white spots or spots where the paint didn't adhere. So sometimes you got to put 2 coats. to ensure that you don't have any white spots. Or it could be that I touch it with my hands and it accidentally wipes off or something. So, all right, cool. I think that's our Persuader. Done and done. Let's go back to what's her name, the Sprinter, and let's just put a quick dry brush on her. Here's my good old brush. And let's grab some paper towel. Yeah, the Vallejo paints are pretty cool, but I really like the Citadel pots because you don't have to mix anything or get anything in a bowl. They just work right out of the pots, so you don't have to really worry about it. But there's some better flesh colors with Vallejo for sure. What am I looking for? Runefang Steel. There it is. Good old Runefang Steel. We're going to dip that in a little bit. And we're going to dry it off. Dry. There you have it. Let's go get our Sprinter. And we're just going to put my glasses on again. We're just going to highlight just really light touch. I don't know if you can see that, but it's like instantly metal. Less is more. All right, I think Sprinter's ready to go. We got 2 of the 10 figures down. I'll keep this brush kind of out because I know I'm going to have more metal to do later. And let's go for, I've been wanting to do this guy for a while. The Smuggler. Because, he's another Agaros Dunes, right? I mean, you can totally tell that color is Agaros Dunes. It looks like his bags and stuff are more of a white, like a off-white color than anything else. And he's got like a glowing eye. Right, so let's start with our good old Agaros Dunes. Because we definitely want to 2-tone color this somehow. He's definitely got a coat and then an undercoat. So we'll see what happens. That's when it's really hard when they don't have good reference photos. I mean, the reference photos are okay, but it's not. It kind of puts all the work on you to figure out what to do with it. Yep, looks like the arms are part of the coat, so we'll just do the arms this way too. Blango. Piece of cake. Yeah, this guy's literally going to take 2 seconds, I think. Because we're just going to put arms on him. We're going to put some leather on the pouches and stuff, and that's it. All right, now it does look like there's this like there's a sack, but then there's like some kind of cloth on top of the sack, and it looks like the cloth on top of the sack is the same as his coat, but the box underneath is definitely going to be a different color. All right, that is his coat. It's just like his coat is going here and coming around. So that was smart of me to use the same color. All right. I'll give him the same color boots, because then his underwear can be maybe a lighter color. Because, you can't go smuggling without cool underwear. All right, cool. This is one of those things where you can see with the priming, it's kind of the area is black, but you should still put color on it because the color will shine through. All right. Oh yeah, you know what? This whole thing is wrapped, so this is all going to be a color on this side. So might as well dunes it. And then the real thing's sticking out the back. That's what's happened. Hey, Crickstar, how's it going? Yeah, this is just us painting. This would normally just be me painting, getting ready for next week's show, but everyone's like, make a show about the painting. So this is it in all of its boring glory. Tom painting figures. I hope you enjoy it. All right. Now what I'd like to do is get these bags and these straps a different color. And I think I'm going to use, instead of, because on this guy, the Persuader, you notice how the aggro stoons and the fur don't really complement each other that well. So this is a time when I might actually want to use an actual leather color. So we've got this called Snakebite Leather. Let's see how this goes. So I'm going to try this just for these straps here. Yeah, I think this is already a better complement. Better write that down in the books, boys. Snakebite Leather and Agros Dunes are a good color to tone. I kind of figured they would be, but I didn't think about it so much. Yeah, because the fur color, it looks by itself, it looks like a cool. It looks like a cool brown, but it's really more like a chocolatey brown. And so, like if you put it next to other colors that are not so deep, then it looks a little bit out of place, I think. Yep, Crickstar. I think the beauty is no one on this call, I think, cares anything about football. I couldn't tell you one thing about football. I think I know there's a ball. That's about the extent of that. I know it's not soccer. So there's another tidbit to learn. But yeah, this is great because it's a great time to like go to the store or something because no one's around. Everyone's watching TV. All right. I think you just pick like 2 colors, and these guys are pretty much done. It's pretty amazing. Oh yeah, there's a belt here. All right, cool. Just 2 more things to do, and that is his mask and his gun. And what I call the Agros Dunes cleanup, because I don't know why, but there's always like a missing spot. Pixar said the Rams. Yep, I think in America in general, no one really cares for the Rams or the other whatever team. I've heard a lot of people complaining that it's not one of the popular teams. All right, once again, just doing my gray for the gun because I know that the gun is going to be silver later. And, you know, I'm just going to leave that pack that color because that's kind of the color that it looks like. Definitely want to get this mask breather thing going. And there's an eye patch. There's all right. Just need to clean up, put some flesh on his head to clean that up, but I think he's about done. I have to wait for the gray to dry before I can put silver on it. But yeah, that is our, what's this guy called? The Smuggler. The Smuggler. So yeah, I played this game yesterday and it's actually super fun. So I can't wait to show you guys on Friday. As far as brushes go, here's the thing. Is that contrast paints eat brushes for breakfast. So there's really no point in getting expensive brushes unless you want to. What I started doing was I started keeping like nicer brushes that I try to mark do not use for contrast, and then use worse ones for contrast, because basically what ends up happening is the contrast paints are kind of like a thick goo, for lack of a better word, and they tend to get all caught up in the bristle, and then they make the bristles do this. You see how the bristles get like all crazy whack. That's because the base or the bell of the brush is just it's stuck with goo. And no matter how much water, you got to like wash it out with vinegar or something to get it out. It's a pain in the butt. But these are great to use for contrast because you just soak them up and you lay them on there. It's more like you might as well be using a sponge. You're really using a directional sponge than actually painting. But when you use the layer paints, you want to have a nice layer paint to use. So you could go nicer brushes for that. I typically just get the cheapest brushes I can find on Amazon that have a pretty good snapback. And so there's a whole bunch. These recent ones I got, which are the more recent ones that I got. Yeah, these are the ones I just got today. They're called AIEX. I don't know. They're pretty nice though. They have a nice snap to them. But again, I don't, it's like $4, $8 on Amazon because you're going to throw them in the trash week over week probably if you use a lot of contrast paints. All right, cool. I think that's it for him. I might clean up his flesh later, but and I need to put some silver on him later. So we'll put him in the later pile and we're on to the next one. All right. I think this Scourge Lady might be easier to do than normal. So she's got a purple cape and everything else is black. All right. So this is going to be tough to figure out. So a red hood. This is a good time for us to use our Magos purple. Magos purple is the way to go. This is tricky, but I think let's start with the head. Purple. This looks like a nun. Or a Bene Gesserit from Dune. Right? The trouble is if you do the Games Workshop suggested method, you have to base them all, then you have to shade them, then you have to highlight them, then you have to shade them again, and there's like a whole process to it that's sort of a pain in the ass. It works, I'll tell you that. All right, I think it just takes a long time. If you really want to spend a lot of time on a figure, then you can do it. Because some figures you'll want to like make hero figures or something. For me, I like to do these games, and these games are like 10 figures in a box, and we got to get through them. Otherwise, I don't have time to screw around. Got to get these games to the table. All right. Sometimes it's hard to tell, like when there's a two-tone color on the photo, and you're like, where does that go? Where do these cloths go? But once you start painting it, then you can kind of see, oh, I see, this should be purple and the rest should be black, that kind of thing. Also, you don't want to just have, like, some of these people will make these costumes be super black, but I got news for you, black can be boring. So you want to be careful or conservative in your black usage. All right. I think that's it. Arms. The arms are black, but her hands are purple. So we're going to try this because her hands are like glowing. So we're just going to make her hands purple for now, and then we'll add like some white to them to give them a little glow. All right, purple hands. Anything else? Oh yeah, this it's purple too. See, it's hard to tell, but this is a little purple. What do you want to call it? Scarf. Yep, and the rest is going to be black. So then the question you want to ask yourself is, if I do this completely black Templar, it's going to wash everything out. It's just going to be black. So really what we want to do is just do a gray. Because the gray will give you that illusion of black, but it's still going to let us have those highlights pop out. So once again, back to our Basilicanum Gray. Yeah, contrast is tricky because also the color is going to be different based on the base color. Like if you have I typically, when I do white primer, I use Wraithbone, which is basically like an off-white or an eggshell white. And then I know for sure what colors are going to look like with that base. But but if I do a white base, they're going to be brighter. And if I do like a gray base, they're going to be darker. So you have to kind of watch out for what. And you'll get a feel for how dark the primer is and how that'll work. You see, I already missed another. This should be purple. So, and I think this is going to be purple too. So let's just make her arm gray. I don't need to do much there. Right, arms gray. Her belt is definitely black or gray, so this is gray for sure. Yep, I think this is all gray. Right, so let's get that purple back. All right, do. Purple me, bro. That's the beauty. I really love that these are really just 2 colors each. I mean, we're going to be cranking through these. There's 10 of these figures, and we've already got 3 done, and it's only been an hour. All right. Cool. So now there's 2 things I want to do. First, we got to fix her face because she's a lady. So let me get my Kieslev Flesh out really quick. Lighten up her face just a little bit. Let me put on my nerd glasses because we're going deep. We're going deep. All right. All right. This is one of these little teeny tiny areas. have to hold my breath. You're afraid that the any breath or movement will make the brush go crazy. You definitely don't want screwed up. All right. I'm going to put little kind of glowy eyes on her, and then I'm going to put a little glow things on her hands. And so we will use our standard Wraithbone base. All right, I need something that will be pointy. Small enough. Okay, yeah, and the eyes in this case are not really going to matter because we're gonna just color them, right? They're not going to actually try to paint eyeballs. I don't like to paint eyeballs because it's too much. But it'll make this like kind of cool glowing effect when we put the color in there, and the color should be purple, right? So go back to that purple. Yeah, this is why I tend to like to use the contrast Guilliman Flesh paints. They'll just fill in the eye sockets with shadows. But when you want glowing eyes, then it's good to do like these dots. You just do a dot of white, and then you get a really light contrast paint. And just put it on. Let's see, she's got like glowy eyes now. Oh, so Red is painting the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm sure those foot soldiers look cool as heck. Those miniatures, though, I mean, I think from what I've seen, they're not very detailed, so that's why I'm glad this priming method I told you guys, it's perfect for those kind of miniatures because you definitely want to add texture to miniatures that don't have so much texture. All right. Yeah, the beauty is when you do a lot of the same model, you can kind of set them up in a assembly line. Sorry, all right, so I give her just some little glowy hands and some glowy eyes. No big deal. All right, we're going to call her done. On to the next one. All right, next on our docket is the Ghost. Here's another one with glowy eyes. Looks like another purplish, but a darker purple and lots of black. So I think this is like the brother of the one we just did. Yeah, so you gotta really figure out where is the purple. So it seems that everyone likes these flowy scarf things to be purple. So that's a good place to start, as any. Purple scarf. I guess in the cyberpunk future, purple ends up being the color of villains. Right? It is windy in this world for sure. Okay. You know what, though? Everything else kind of looks black-ish. So instead of black, let's go with that dark purple. Remember that dark purple that we said is unusable? Well, here's a good use case where you can use it. Because we'll have a purple kind of motif going on. All right. Dark purple me bro. So let's start with this cape. Yes, the shyish purple. You got it. I want to go really light because I want to try to keep some of these highlights if I can. Man, that shyish purple is really dark. So you see, I'm almost like dry brushing the contrast paint onto it. So I can try to preserve some of what's underneath. So you can see that dark purple is really dark, but that's what this model calls for. This is like I guess in this world it's sort of like Batman, maybe. But even Batman has a lighter blue color, unless it's like Dark Knight. All right, that's cool. Looks like it's also dark. Everything's dark. So let's do this. Well, also remember the key is you don't want to glob it on. You want to, like I just put a little on the brush and I'm kind of like same kind of dry brushing motion. If you put even a little bit too much, it can get, even on this model, it can get to be too much. But in this picture, it looks like, you know, it looks black almost, so I'm glad to not have to use black. Gives it more of a thematic look. All right. It also says purple legs, so let's try this dark purple for legs. These legs look metallic too, so we might dry brush some metal on them. You can kind of see like my brush is starting to get all frayed. When it's a frayed brush, it's a dangerous brush because you'll get paint where you don't want paint. That's not a good thing. All right. Keep these as black boots, but there is this little X on the front of the boots is going to remain white. All right, now in the picture, this is all like black, but I think I'll add some more of the light purple in here just to make it a little bit easier to have some color separation. It's one thing for a game designer to make a character that is all black, and it's another thing for that miniature to be on the table all black. Doesn't look cool that way. All right, so we got some, we'll say these are dark purple gloves, so then that means that the inside will be normal purple. Again, we're just keeping to a two-tone color, so that's what's great about these, or makes them easier to paint, is that you just keep it to two colors, and you should be cool. All right, I think I'm going to make this gauntlet darker. I'm sorry, these shoulder. Man, I'm totally drawing a blank. What do you call that thing on the shoulder? Pauldron? Pauldron, maybe? I don't know. All right, cool. Yeah, I think this sword's got to be purple too. It'll be darker. We'll put some silver on it to lighten it up later. All right, cool. Let's go back to our Magos purple, and I'm just going to fill in the other spots with that. And that's what's cool when you use two of similar colors, because then I can blend the lighter color on top of the darker color, and I don't really care, and it'll actually make it kind of look cooler. I don't have to be so precise with where I put it. All right, cool. It does look like these are normal hands, so I'm going to go back to my flesh color real quick. Well, actually, let me go to the dark purple. Just clean up a couple of things. First, yeah, these are kind of like bicycle gloves, so only the fingers are going to show. Most of these are going to be. All right, cool and cool. Coolio. Sometimes you forget to get under the model. All right, so we're just going to put some flesh on his hands, give him some glowy eyes, and he's done. And that'll be 5 figures in an hour and a half. The other 5 will be easy, except for that one guy with the white suit. White suits are for jerks. All right. So I'm just putting gluing on flesh on her hands. I guess it's a her. I don't know if it's a her or him. I think the first one was a her, and this one might be him. I don't know. We will find out. Let's go do our special glowy eye trick. Wraith bone me. All right, where's my pointy? So two. Oh, let me put on my super magnifying nerd glasses. Whoa. All right, I know you're like, whoa, that's crazy too much. And you'd be right. But what we're really going to do is cover that with purple and then put another white, smaller white dot in the middle. What am I looking for? But one trick you can do if you go too much on the eyes, if I can find my stupid X-Acto knife. Oh, here it is. When you're looking for something and it's not there, it's probably right in front of you. All right, so you can always just use that good old X-Acto knife. And kind of just push the paint. Just if you get it somewhere that you don't really want it. You'll want to be careful with that though, because especially with eyes, you want them to look smooth. And if you start scraping paint off, it's going to look really dirty, gritty. All right, let's purple eyes. I should have waited for it to dry, but you know, I don't like waiting. Waiting for drying things is for suckers. All right. Now it's time to find the teeniest, tiniest brush I have and make some little teeny tiny white dots, and we're good to go. Yep, and that's pretty awful. So the good news is I just start again. Really hard to get them tiny. So I'm going to let that dry and we'll come back to that later. The trouble is we're waiting too long for those things, or I'm trying to rush it. Can't rush it. All right. Let's try one more of these guys and then maybe call it a night. Let's see. Who do we want? All the cards fell on the floor. All right, we did this guy. Maybe we'll do the Disruptor. He's cool. He's basically got some, basically just metal and Creed Camo green and a bunch of little red. Another glowy eye guy. These glowy eye guys are going to kill me. All right, here he is. Whoa, the Disruptor. Here is our Creed Camo. Remember, it's not as bright as Orc, not as dark as Dark Angel's green. It's right in that nice center sweet spot. And here we go. Yep, so his pauldrons are definitely this green. And his little gauntlets are also green. And you know what? I think that's 2 green. You know, we didn't think about it. It's got a green hint to it, but this is actually Aggros Dunes with a little bit of green on top. So that's crazy. Let's see what it looks like if we just put Aggros Dunes right on top of that green. What do you think? Are we crazy? Is it a crazy Sunday? I don't know. The screen is kind of dark. The light might not look so great. Yeah. Yeah, but it doesn't work. We'll have to do like a tan highlight on it to make it more green, because you know we didn't listen to our own rule, which is lighter paints don't go on top of darker paints. So that's it. This green is called Creed Camo. Creed Camo. And the good news is we can use it for his feet. His feet are definitely that green color. And this is your standard like Army Marine camouflage pants kind of look. But you know what? He's going to look cool with, because you can kind of see the division of his pants and his boots. So I think it'll be cool if we give him Aggros Dunes pants. That'll make it all come together. I like it when a plan comes together. Aggros Dunes me. Yeah, these colors all look good together. Yep, just adding color. Piece of cake. Now we want to. He's got like little doodad pouches and things. So, what did we just learn? That snakebite leather is a great complement to the Aggros Dunes. So here's my leather. Here it is. Snakebite. You can see it. There it is. Snakebite leather. Hey, Steph is here. Yeah, I don't know anything about football, but I know everyone is pissed off that there's no actual good team playing today, but everyone's still going to watch it, whatever that means. Okay. Yeah, this is definitely a strap. This is definitely a pouch. Pouch. Strap me. Strap. Just looking for straps and pouches. These are definitely straps. This is like some kind of engine or something on his back. Oh well, that's cool. I do like those colors together. All right, so blend this stuff together. Doesn't look so green. That's cool. All right, now I just need to make his head and his gun and everything gray, and then we put silver on top of that, and we're done. Redhead is hilarious. Yes, one could argue. I told Diana that the other day. I said everyone's upset that the two teams that are playing, no one likes them. She said that is so disrespectful to the two teams that actually made it.
I did say that.
Right, here's our standard. If it's a gun, we make it gray, and then we put a silver on top. If it's a giant engine, we make it gray, and then we put a silver on top. If it's a metal mask, we make it gray, and we put a silver on top. Pretty simple. They don't call it slow painting, they call it speed painting. Just trying to get this done. Cool. All right, I think that's that. I'm gonna wait for that to dry, and then so we'll put that in the dry pile. Waiting for dry brushing. Uh-oh, Diana's here. I guess I have to shut it down now.
Oh, you don't have to shut it down. I'm just looking to see what you're doing from afar.
I see.
Yeah, I'm looking way over here from over your shoulder.
All right, let's see who we got next. The mechanic. It looks like some yellow and some green and some gray.
Cool.
All right. Well, the trouble is, what the heck is yellow? Let's grab our yellow and figure it out.
Not right now, sweetie.
Yellow looks like this. Pauldron is yellow. It looks like this. Probably this whole coat is like yellow, huh? All right, and this thing is yellow. So I guess yellow straps. I don't know, I'm going to make these gauntlets yellow. There's not a lot of yellow here, but I like putting some kind of signature color on things. And like a cape too. Do aggro stones for that cape. All right, cool. I think that's enough yellow. Let's go do our aggro stones. It's funny, if you look at my contrast paints, I have like 5 pots of aggro stones. It's amazing how much that is used. It's just a great like mid-tone brown coat color. Okay, so let's see if that's the coat. That's where you got to start working things out. All right, everything else seems to be gray. Oops, sorry. Yeah, must have a bunch of gray going. Gray me. All right, we're just gonna make this gray, this gray, this is gray, this is gray. Sorry, guys, I keep not putting things in the right place. You're gray, you're gray, 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 gray. Oh, hey, look at that, a metal helmet. That means gray. Yeah, these will look really cool once we put silver on it. Right. All right, and now we just need to do some leather. Leather me baby. All right. Yeah, next one of these, I'm trying to get a better lighting, and I just kind of, the vibe of these is like you're just sitting around with Tom at home while he's painting. There's no production value. It's just what do? You want to paint. All right, so I got a pack. That's leather, that's leather. This is probably some kind of leather. This is the mechanic bag. Gotta have these things to be like that. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. All right, and then there's feet. His feet are like steel, yeah, so that's all good. All right, I think he's kind of done until we get you gotta wait for the gray to dry, and then we dry brush silver on top of it. Yep, he's just gonna get a little silver and he'll be done. All right, 3 people left. But before we go to the 3 people, I want to show anyone who's like, hey, I just started watching this crazy video of this guy painting, but how did they start this way? How did you get it to look like this? Because when I bought the game, it looks like gray poop. So I'm going to show you guys how to do the priming method, because the game also comes with these really cool little robots. I don't know if you can see them. They're like little spider robots. And they just come yellow, but I definitely need to paint these as well because they're so cool looking. So I am going to do a quick prime for people who want to know the priming method. So first thing we're going to do, we prime these black. All these little guys are black. There's 6 of them. Where's the camera? There they are. And we are going to start by putting some gray on these bad boys. So we're going to do our dry brush paint from Citadel. It's called Dawnstone Gray. I'm going to put it on a paper towel like this. And we're just going to dry it off. And then we're going to, wow, it's really hard to see here, but we're just going to paint this gray onto the thingamajobber. It just helps to bring some of the life back to it. These guys are really tiny though, so it doesn't take a lot to just put a little bit on. Because ultimately these things are robots, so we're going to want to put some steel on top. Just want to get some gray in there. Gray is your mid-tone. So, yeah, what you're looking for is basically that. You can still see the black in the crevices, but the gray kind of covers the surface. You could even go a little lighter if you wanted it to be more black in the crevices. We're just going to go super simple, like so. All right, last one. All right. Now we got our 6 little bugs. It's really hard to see in this light. I apologize, but you know, what are you going to do? Now we're going to put some white on these guys, and we use a good rack white. You can use any kind of white you want, though. Same thing. Grab a brush, get it wet, we dry it off. You can test it on your glove to see if it's going to clump or not. And literally just a little bit, a little dab will do ya. Now I'm going overboard because what we're going to end up doing, it's so funny. We're then going to put the gray contrast paint on here and then dry brush it silver. So it's kind of like, why bother doing it this way, but I just want to show people it's a cool way you can get the highlights out. You can see that it's a little, I would not want this little robot attacking me, that's for sure. It's like a little, like even to hold it in my hand is a pain in the ass. It's like, wants to kill you. In the game, these things are yellow, and all the iconography refers to the yellow as heat, because these are basically like little police droids. And when you're doing one of the criminal activities, the police droids come chasing you. All right, and there you go. That's how you get what we had. So one thing I want to do is I want to keep these the yellow color, but I do want to have them to have this kind of metallic textured look to it. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do our standard, metal thing, which is let's contrast paint them gray, and then we're going to dry brush them with metal, and then we're going to color them yellow on top of the metal, and that should all look really cool, I would think. So I probably could have even just not done the two-tone highlight on these and just went with a metal dry brush and then colored it, but I'm just being thorough. I just wanted to show people how the priming worked. The cool part about these contrast paints too is that they're sort of like a sealer, for lack of a better word. So like when you do the dry brushing, it almost gets like a powderiness on top of the model, and this will kind of wet down the model too, so it doesn't have such a powdery feel to it either, which is kind of cool. Yep, it's definitely on my roadmap to up the production quality of all this stuff. We're gonna get a new lighting setup for the table. It's gonna be really cool. So stay tuned for that funness. All right. We're gonna let those dry for a little bit, but we're gonna do our silver right now because we got a bunch of people that need silver, and we've got silver to be had. So let's get our Runefang steel out in the world. I've got a fresh dry brush waiting for Runefang steel to be on it. I'm going to get a paper towel as usual. We're going to dab some of this. A little dab will do you. And we're going to put it here. And let's see, who's the first person that needs some metal? Well, here's our Smuggler. Yeah, you see, he looks pretty. It ends up looking a lot better when it dries too. You get that textures, but the color comes through. We're just going to give him a little silver for that gun. Maybe this thing is a little silver too. It's a silver box. And if you had any like metal rings or doodads, you know, you could give him a little once over. Like I might even just put it across his mask to give him like a little metal highlight. Just like that. And you can see it looks like a metal mask, which is cool. All right, then we got Disruptor. All right, does this guy have any metal? I don't think so. This guy's definitely all metal. So let's get some metal on his mask. Let's get some metal on his whatever these jets are. Metal on that gun. All right, he's ready to rock. Let's take a look at our mechanic. Well, this is definitely a metal wrench of some sort. Some metal mask. Let me get some more silver. I believe this is metal. So you end up just using this like it's like a highlight. And that's like a metal gun. This is a metal can for sure. Oh, cool. Yep, and there's the mechanic, all metaled up. Cool. Does this chick have any metal? I don't think so. Nope. We already did this girl's metal legs. She's cool. All right, so I guess we're ready for these little robots. They're dried enough, I think. So the thing with these, whoa, that's way too much paint. Yeah, the thing with these little robots is that they're so tiny that less is definitely more. You just wanted to get a little bit of a metallic shine to it. But if you completely douse it, then it's just gonna, you've just basically primed it silver at that point. So you just want to get like the edges. Yeah, whenever you dry brush too, just always want to be like against the grain. Try to see a grain and go against it. Otherwise, you're just going to be painting on it. It'll be too much. All right. These little robots are super hard to hold. All right, now we got 6 little worker robots that are metallic. That this lighting doesn't really show how cool they look, but you'll see on the show how cool they look. All right, but here's the thing. Now we want to, the original color of those things is yellow. So we have this kind of silver undercoat, but we definitely want to make it look like they're metal robots that have a yellow coat of paint on them, for lack of a better word. I have this yellow that I use called Averland Sunset. It's a base paint, so it's really gotta be really careful with it, because what we want to do is we really want it to be like a layer paint, because we want to see that silver underneath. We don't want to just douse this stuff with paint. So what we're really going to do is really just, again, almost dry brush this stuff on. But it's a base paint, so you got to be really careful with it. So, yeah, we're going to take some. I don't even know if this is going to work. I might end up just redoing it all later, but I did paint some traffic signs with this color, and it really looks kind of cool. So let's see what happens. So I got like a little bit of this yellow on the brush. I'm just going to do like that. Kind of only just do the body of it and leave their claws. I'll leave the claws to stay silver. Then you get that kind of like old painted spaceship look, kind of, you know. Like, you know, it's metal underneath, but you know it's been painted a color. It would be really better to do this with like a layer type paint instead of a base paint, but it still ends up looking kind of cool, I think. All right, so there's your little like yellow. I don't know, that could be like in the movie Alien or something, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know about Diana painting anything. She tried it once, but the trouble is you've got to be able to see, and even I'm going blind half the time. So I think I'm going to do it like that, so we'll have, it looks like a little like rusted old motor part, whatever. But that's cool. It keeps the original yellow, but it makes it a dangerous robot that is going to chase you, and it definitely has a space or futuristic theme to it that way. So let's just do the rest of them like that, see what happens. Then I think it might be time to call it and get some food. Yeah, one trick too is that you can kind of see little segments. Maybe only try to paint so the lines stay separated. If it goes on too thick, only paint on certain segmented areas. That way you can keep the silver underneath. I think that's it. I like I like the way this is looking. It's cool. Yeah, I don't think we have any plans for food. We might go. We do live in New York City after all. We might go to some crazy restaurant somewhere. It is snowing here in New York City, so I also don't know if it's good to go out or not. We will see. Yeah, I really like the look of these now. I'm glad I did the extra work to do the standard priming, because then you get a lot of good midtones. I mean, that's the trick with all of this. As long as you have a good highlight, good midtones, and good shadows, it doesn't matter how small it is or how far away it is. It'll read. They use the term read, which means you can tell what the heck it is from far away. You can tell if it's metal or if it's fabric or if it's a person or what, based on certain things that we know about those materials, how they reflect and that kind of stuff. I was kind of worried about painting these little guys because they did look kind of cool, just normal yellow. These definitely look 1,000 times cooler than I thought they would. So those are the little victories too, when you have an idea and you're like, oh, you know what, I really wanted to look silver underneath, but I want it to be this kind of spaceship color on top. And then you do it and it actually looks like what you want. That's the best. That's like, I imagine when people play golf and they hit that really great shot and they're like, that's why they keep playing golf. Sometimes you'll be painting. You'll be like, oh, this is horrible. I suck at painting. Then you get that one model and you're like, oh, that looks so cool. A lot of times it's just by accident. You just got to have those happy accidents. That's all. Yeah, it's really scary dry brushing with a base paint because these base paints are meant to just cover everything. So you got to be really light touch. Just really dry brush the paint on. Don't go too heavy. You'll see too, I call it the car wash method, where I just make the brush go back and forth and then I move. It's like, here's the car wash and the car moves into it. You know, I don't know, it's kind of stupid, but it does help me to get to know if I'm putting too much paint on or not. Like if I just put it on a little, if I move it in a little bit, I can tell how much paint's gonna be applied, as opposed to just throwing it on and hoping for the best. Because there are times when you get in a groove and then you're like, oh, I'm putting it on too thick, because you're just trying to get it done. Especially like Red was saying, when you got 24 dudes to paint, the quality starts going down after the 24th dude. Dude, I really love that. It looks like an old like engine part or something. Yep, I can't wait for these guys to chase me. All right, we only have 3 figures left to paint. And one of them I know is going to be a pain in the ass. So I think maybe we can do one more and call it, unless you guys are done watching me be stupid, in which case I can call it early, no problem too. I think we can get one more done. And I think it's going to be Mohawk Lady. Because she's totally got, this is the Athermatic blue paint. I mean, that is the exact color of Athermatic blue. And she's got basically everything else is black. So, yeah, she should be pretty easy to paint, I think. Here's my Athermatic blue. All right. This is now, we just got to be careful where these places actually go. So it looks like am I going to paint the arrow? I don't know what that means. All right, that's Athermatic blue. Oh, this is weird. There's sort of like a blue on the butt crack, but she doesn't really have a butt crack here in this model. I'll just fake one. And then there's blue here. It does look like the whole chest, most of the chest is blue. Oh, is there an arrow on her leg? I don't even know if I see it. But yes, if there is one, we'll paint it. Okay, chest. See, it's really hard to tell what, based on this, because this is from behind and this is like, I guess, well, definitely her boobs are blue, but her shoulder is black. So the arm is mostly black, so we can definitely say the boobs are blue as such. And definitely this chest area is blue. That's helpful. Going all the way around here. Yeah, I love this blue because it's so light. It's one of the lightest contrast paints. And it's great for this type of priming method that I do, because this priming method I do, things really turn out really dark. So you're definitely going to want to get, when you apply color to these dark things, you're going to want them to be lighter. So having a lighter contrast paint is really great. Okay, it's really hard to tell what else. I'm just going to, because their glove is black and everything else is white. So I'm just going to say that the arms are this blue also. That makes things easier, because now it's her gloves and her pauldron that are going to be the darker. That makes more sense. So we can do the same thing on this side. His hands are blue. And then this is going to be all that way. Yeah, that makes more sense. Now we're making sense. And then I'm just going to say, oh, this is black. That's black. That means that's all got to be black. Yep. All right. Let's just say the crotch is blue too then. All right. This is where it's going to get tricky because really she is all black. So, however, though, to go with this blue, I think what I might do, is use dark blue instead of black. For dark blue, I use Leviathan blue. I love how all my paints look like the side of Voyager from the Star Trek movie, and you scratch off your Voyager. Oh, Voyager! Whoa! There's a little Star Trek reference for you guys. All right, so yeah, these. Let's see how it works on the boots. See if this is too dark or what. I think that's gonna look cool. Let's see. Again, this is just like when I put on the dark purple. I want to put it on really light, as light as I possibly can, so I can preserve some of the under stuff. Yeah, because I could have made these pants black, but the blues will hopefully complement each other a little bit better. But blue, just like black, it's so dark. If you mess up putting it anywhere, you got to restart everything all over again. Just pain in the ass. Got to be real careful. These dark colors are so dark. They'll get on everything. It's cool. It's cool. We got our system. See, it gets really dark though, so probably in post I'll have to put a highlight on this to just make it a little bit less nebulous. Because I mean, if you just look at this, the legs are just like totally black. It's just such a dark color, but you know, it's cool. It's better to start darker and then you can highlight it later. Who knew she was going to be a pain in the ass? See, this is the trouble when you go one more, just one more, and then you get one that's pain. All right. Backpack is blue. I should say jetpack. And that goes into blue pauldrons. That goes into a blue neck piece thingamajobber. Yep, definitely going to want to lighten this up later. But good to get this base color down. And there's a little harness thingamajob. Goes this way. It goes, there's a tube. It goes this way. There's a harness that goes here. It goes like that. This goes under the belly. Right, and this goes this way. All right. Yeah, and then you can, oh, sorry guys. Yeah, we do the edge highlighting a bunch of different ways. You can do it with dry brushing if it's a larger area. If it's a teeny tiny area, then I tend to just do a normal brush and just put the highlights where I want them. Because the trouble is if the area is too small, then your dry brush is too big. Your dry brush will start dry brushing colors onto areas where you don't want colors. And that's a no good. So I used to just always do a highlight over the whole model. But I kind of stopped doing that lately because it really blends the colors too much. You have less control over where you can highlight stuff if you're just putting a giant highlight on the whole model. All right, so I think that's all of our dark stuff. Call this belt. Now there's one vast piece is this around her head is actually this darkness too, so. She's got another pauldron on this side. Yeah, I can't wait to show you guys this game on Friday. I don't know, maybe I'm a little premature. I've only played it twice, but it's definitely cool. But it's a weird, it's definitely not for everybody. Because really the major part about the game is trying to figure out how to solve cards in your hand based on the current board state. And if you can't get it that round, then it's kind of a wasted round and it can be kind of annoying, but that's the fun of it too. But it's all very thematic. It's very fun. And these figures are cool. All right, that is the jumper. So what I'll probably do later is just go over all of these dark parts with a lighter highlight, just to highlight it, and then I'm gonna make the Mohawk white. But other than that, it's a good start. You got your two-tone. There you have it. All right, only 2 guys left. I'm definitely not gonna do this guy because to do a white suit, I've got to do a white dry brush in layers, and it's gonna take forever. And so I'll do it off camera. And then I could do this guy, but this guy is so simple. He's just I might be convinced to do this guy because he does seem like he'll be so simple. Where's his card? Here he is. He's the Drone Jack. What do you think? He's got maybe a green shirt and a gray jacket. Yeah, it's hard to tell what those colors are. It's so dark. So maybe we'll make some up. He has red theme though, so maybe we could go red for him just so it goes with his red theme. But that's definitely a gray coat with a green under thing. So it's just gray and green. We could do that right now. See, this is where I like to get clever and go, well, if his player color is red, then really we should do a two-tone red kind of scheme for him, but to keep it with the card. All right, we're going to do our camo color green, and it looks like his whole inside is green. All right, so let's just do green. Green here, green here, green here. This is definitely green. Piece of cake. This is going to be a green. It's almost like a Robin Hood. He's got a green kind of skirt. These pants definitely look kind of blue jeany, so I might do what I did with the other guy and just do my my bluish gray. It's called Griff Charger Gray. There you go. So, I guess in the cyberpunk future, everyone wears jeans. Just makes sense. All right. And the funny part is, since this is more gray than blue, maybe that's something we can use for his coat too. Instead of just making it a boring gray, we'll make it this bluish gray. That'll make it a little easier. Let me just paint this thing straight up. Who said painting minis is hard? You just slap color on it. That's it. Piece of cake. right. Let me just do some leathery bits. In this case, I think I'm going to use the fur color instead of the leather color. This fur is a little bit darker, and this is more of a gray tone. All right, here we go. Yeah. Sometimes it's pretty easy to paint these straight lines, but a lot of times when the lines are pretty deep, it can be a time that your brush can go over the line and it makes like this gloppiness. But it's no big deal. You can kind of scrape it off with an X-Acto knife if it looks too dirty. All right. These kind of look like those little pipe bombs from the Terminator movie. I think these are pouches, so we're going to do these as pouches. That's the funny part. A lot of times you don't even know what the hell you're painting until you paint it, and you go, "Oh, that was a pouch. I get it," or whatever, you know. Okay, cool. One last thing is just we need to do gray for his head and for his little bombs, and then we're silver them up. And this dude is done, just like that. Yeah, it does look like he has some kind of PC console on his head, or not PC, game console on his head. Right, where's my gray? Here it is. All right, we're just gonna gray this stuff up. Do our standard silver to his head. Piece of cake. Now here's the thing, he's got an eye in the middle of his little triangle there, so I might try to put a white dot in there and then color it red. Find out. One last thing is I do notice I say one last thing all the time. We're going to do Griff Charger Gray cleanup. So you can see like right here, there's an area that's kind of whiter than not. So we're going to make doesn't stand out. On the back where we might have flubbed some of our brown, we can just kind of put some more gray on top to blend it in. It's almost like a second coat. All right, and I think he's good to go. He just needs some silver. Yeah, next time I'm definitely going to get some better lights for you guys because these look so much cooler in person than they do on the camera. But you'll see them better on the She-Hates Game camera when you see them on Friday. I'm coming to get you. The drone jack. All right, cool, guys. Well, I think that's it for me. So, yeah, we got 9 out of the 10 figures done in 2.5 hours. Just a little bit of cleanup work. So let's call it 3 hours. And I guess that's it. So
Woo,
we'll see you.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Woo. Good job, James.
Thanks.
What's so funny?
You're funny.
I'm funny.
So yeah, that's it, everybody. Hope you had a good time, and yeah, next week we'll try to
See
do
you
another one.
Tuesday.
And yeah, so Tuesday we're gonna play a Japanese Euro game, and Friday we're gonna play this In Too Deep. So tune in for Friday, and you'll see all the final painted miniatures and how the game works, and it'll be fun and cool. All right, everybody, have a great night and have a fun time, and we'll see you in the week. Good night.